So, uh,
Yeah,
we had briefly talked about how what was supposed to chronologically be next for Esmond was some of the conversations with Havoc, maybe your brother as well, but
yeah.
at least mainly with Havoc. However, I don't have that ready at this moment, and sauce was requested, and sauce I can provide,
Listen, we don't
so
have
we go
to.
out of chronological order.
Thank you for
Yes,
sauce. I love sauce for my boy.
truly, truly. Uh, so last time I didn't have, well, like I had notes, but I didn't have like notes like I would normally do
Yes.
for a session. So I have similar this time, but I do have for sure things. Uh, and it was something I kind of referenced to you when I was visiting you this past weekend.
No.
Um,
Maybe I don't know. I don't know.
but Esmond, how do you think it's been going? What with having your brother here to help, and Maya and Powell are still here, but also so many people that you've spent a lot of time with recently aren't currently here right now. What's going through Esmond's head? How is he handling things?
I think that he has a lot more free time. I
Mm-hmm.
think. Less like has more free time, more so like feels less concerned with not that the party was a problem,
Mm-hmm.
but less concerned with like making sure they are good, as like he was living with them essentially and like all this stuff, and he wanted to make sure that they wanted to stay. uh well, now he's more so focused on uh the settlement as a whole. um he's sort of able to set his sights broader,
Mm-hmm.
and before he was kind of nervous um around people he was especially well acquainted with, in being a figure of somewhat mild authority, but he's grown more comfortable with that in the absence of the rest of the party.
Mm-hmm.
Uh yeah, so he feels good. He feels fine.
Hell yeah.
Maybe a bit bored, but
You've certainly been doing some things in what downtime you have, which we can get into later in a different one of these. But for this one today, it has been, I'd say, about a week since everyone has left.
oh yeah.
Oh yeehaw! Um, you Undertake writes you relatively regularly, maybe once every couple days. Partly to be like, hey, just checking in that you all weren't murdered while we were looking the other way.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but mostly under the guise of being like, oh yeah, we have a new berry bush. Do you want me to send some berries your way? I can send a sapling over too. Just,
Yeah.
very friendly back and forth, at least from Undertake.
Uh-huh.
And on one of these occasions, Undertake lets you know that some medical supplies and some other tools that are a bit harder to come by uh, just on the reg, stuff like sewing needles, some more difficult to attain cloth, that sort of thing. He had been gifted some as thanks for a job he had done for some passerbys, and offered to send somebody by to bring it to you guys.
Thank you.
Lovely.
We got refugees, brother.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you did also in the bottom of the letter, he did mention that some people showed up that are looking for some place called Armath, which Undertake knows is what your town is called,
I
but he was
I might know a
quoting
place.
them. uh, and he says that they claim that they were saved by your friends.
That's so funny.
And he, asks, "Do you want me to send them your way as well, or just kind of point them in a different direction?"
Uh, listen, Esmond will take anyone as long as they don't like commit atrocious violent acts on the regular
That's so true, like eating
or feel
souls.
repentant for it.
So true.
Yeah.
Um, and in that case, just over about 12 hours later, so closer to 15 hours, you hear a call go up from some of the guards up on the wall that some wagons were spotted coming out of the woods. Uh, and as they are, the gates are opened, they're brought in. You see a collection of people dressed rather simply. Uh, Most of them seem to be kind of still squinting a lot, still adjusting to intense light all the time. 'Cause they
Okay,
lived
work.
underground.
Yeah,
um,
sometimes you're a mole person.
yeah, there's two humans kind of leading up the group on horseback.
Um,
Though
sorry.
the one who seems to have guided them from Hildegrand to here, astride a black horse, you recognize to be Wolf.
Ah, she.
Yeah, the paladin who had come to help you guys. And as far as you know, is childhood friends with Shoshan in some
Yeah.
way. You're not sure the details because I'm pretty sure you weren't told.
Yeah. Just that Shoshin doesn't want to talk to her, but does. But also doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like Esmond can have a sense for
Gay
gay.
panic.
The gay panic, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, well, Maya steps forward, starts to speak with some of these people. Uh, the older woman who seems to be with this group, seems to be concerned and asking questions. Are you approaching, or just gonna stand back and let Maya take care of it?
I am not just going to let Maya take care of it.
Say again?
I'm going to help Maya. Maya's gonna help me. Maya's helping me.
Hell yeah.
But no, yeah, if Undertake had, informed me that people were going to be, coming this way, then Esmond would, uh, be there to greet them,
Hell yeah.
along with Maya, yeah.
Mm. All right. The woman kind of focuses on you as you approach, and she kind of straightens her back, adjusts her gray streaked hair. Uh, Hello. I'm Naomi Ben. Me and my folk here. Well, our home can't really be a home anymore for various reasons, and some folk who say they're from here helped us out and said that they knew here could be safe if you all were all right to take in some lost folk like ourselves.
Oh, do I be British again? We don't yet have much in the way of, uh, upright homes just yet, but if you're looking for a place to stay, be it even only temporary, then... Well, first let me actually inquire with you. Did, you happen to catch the name of the individuals helping you?
Yeah, there was a chatty redhead, named Elise,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
there was
yeah.
this metal box,
I do a metal box.
Yeah, real friendly. Then there was a
Okay,
tall woman.
sure, yeah.
Then there was a tall, reedy, red-skinned fella with horns.
Okay.
Um,
Sorry, you said Alice?
there's something like that.
Right, yeah.
Lise,
Yeah, Lise, that's her name.
Lisa. I don't know.
Lisa, yes, her name's Lisa, actually.
I'm guessing then that is indeed your people.
Yeah, my ward.
Like, ward, alright. I don't know what that means. Sounds fancy though.
Doesn't it? But no, if they've sent you this way and well, they gave you the directions, I'd feel sort of terrible turning you around if you've nowhere else to go. And Armath is welcome to anybody who doesn't have malevolent intent. Killed anybody recently? Just part of the sort of questionnaire. And if
Oh,
you have killed anyone, do you feel bad about it?
not knowingly.
Okay,
But I'm
good
told
start.
that we might have been tricked into doing some things, but it was some mind control things that your wards
No, no, no.
took
They're
care
just my
of.
they're just my friend, to be frank with you.
Right.
But with lovely place we live, isn't it, Nexus? Weird shit all the time, in and out.
Yeah, yeah, but we are largely Druidic folk. We're happy to pull our weight. We're used to living uh, a rough life, so we're happy to help out however it's needed or desired. Just
Uh,
in exchange for some safety, I guess.
well, you will find loads, plenty of safety in these parts. Less so if you'd arrived a few months ago, but we take pride these days in providing uh, a lovely community in which to raise a family. Is what I have decided just now.
Mine's giving you like a look, but Naomi nods slowly. That sounds good. Well, we got some tents. We can set them up. Uh, we never build like any of these, and you do notice like some of the people with her are staring at your buildings with like a clear expression of I have never in my life seen something like that.
Fair. Fair. If there ever does come a time where you were wanting a more permanent lodging, you just need simply ask, and I'm sure we can have something arranged. But if tents are fine for you, in the interim, feel free to. Maya, we can find them somewhere to set up. Yes, or maybe the longhouse.
Certainly, certainly. I think now that we have more of the cabins built, more beds in the longhouse have opened. We certainly have space. Uh, at this, the young human man who seems to have been quiet alongside Naomi speaks up. Uh, question. A lot of us were, I guess you could say, underground folk. How's the ground around here? How would you feel about tunnels and whatnot? We got some practice with that sort of thing.
Uh, I might have to check in with a certain individual before we burrow too deep in anywhere, but there shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, not deep or anything more as like a live in space, sleep in space.
No, of course, I feel free.
Thank you kindly, Amton.
Ground's a bit soft in some places. Anton, lovely to meet you. I'll
He
like
goes for a
hold
high
my hand there.
five.
A high five?
Yeah, I feel like
Okay,
he learned
weird.
how to high five from Coco.
Yeah, probably. Esmond like
He
goes in
thinks
for
it's
the shake.
normal.
Esmond goes in like for the shake, and this dude just like slaps his hand. He's like, "Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Fucking go off, dude." Okay. Esmond.
Right, you the boss around here then?
Sort of, I guess. Everybody at this point thinks that I am. You met the other sort of pseudo bosses. I just stay here. all the time.
You gave yourself a title, King. You can
I
use it
did
if
give
you
myself a
want.
title. Listen, he's shy.
He's shy. Go off, King. Uh, a little bit more back and forth of like particulars goes on, stuff like figuring out where fresh water can be sourced, food rations, if, more guards are needed, just various particulars
Yeah.
that I won't make you go through. But eventually, it seems to be largely figured out for now. They begin to just outside of the walls, set up some of their tents. Some of them stay inside the longhouse. At one point, Maya steps away to help direct them to like the one well you guys have set up. Uh, and Wolf, who has been largely silent for this whole thing, uh, kind of clears her throat as she stands nearby. You seem to be handling all of this well.
Which part are you referring to?
I don't really know. I didn't really know you before this. I guess I just got the impression that you, and this is not meant in a negative sort of way, you liked having people to back you up, which I feel the same on, to be clear. But it seems like you're doing really well.
Uh, Thank you. The Shoshen Nemesis Ade story, those lot aren't as familiar to me as pseudo solidarity. Solitary, not solidarity.
Well, you all seemed familiar with each other, but I suppose very strong bonds are formed when going through tough times together.
Is that the case with you and Shoshen?
Um, I mean, I suppose we had tough times, but it was more a case of up alongside each other.
In the
Shoshin, my
Thorn
brother.
Back?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, I I'm not part of that group anymore. Shoshin is, but I just had personal discomforts with it.
I don't think she wants to be fair.
I also got that impression from the conversations we've had. Not just impressions. Um, Sadly, there's not much I can do to help right now, but uh, Shoshin has been good to me in agreeing to not let on that she knows where I am right now. And it's nice to finally feel like I can stay somewhere for a bit, let things be a little calm.
Was it ever really a question on whether or not Shoshen would keep your being here secret?
I mean, you know someone when you're kids, you don't see them for a long period of time. It's hard to know for sure. Optimism. When I first saw her, especially since she didn't immediately react badly to it, told me I'd probably be okay, but also you grow to be a paranoid fuck when you live on the road as long as I did.
I suppose. Yes, we to be fair, I'm also somewhat paranoid. Uh so I do understand to some extent where you're coming from. She seems happy to see you though.
Yeah.
I don't know Shoshin that well, to be honest. I've had a handful of meaningful conversations with her. Perhaps meaningful to me, maybe not meaningful to her, but notable in their significance, to me at least. I have never known her to be particularly emotional or forthright with what she's feeling, but with your presence, I do feel that she is somehow brighter.
I think I was gonna say the same to you. The Shoshin I knew as kids was quiet, was certainly friendly, and we were close, but I think a lot of times she closed herself off from a lot of the band. Of course, I cannot critique in any sort of way. It's understandable. But here she seems so much more open and wanting to be part of things. And I'm really thankful for that. So thank you for providing a place where she seems to be blossoming in that sense. And Wolf has like this very clear, like soft expression when she talks about Shoshen.
Esmond has a very soft smile on his face. Have you done that recently?
On what?
That with your face.
She kind of like ducks her head and rubs at the back of her neck. Uh, I don't know. Things have been stressful for so long, and I thought it would be harder to get comfortable, but I think in the she kind of gestures back in the direction of Hildegard. They give me space when I need it, and distract me when I need it, and knowing that I could talk to Shoshin again was helpful. I used to talk to my brother about things sometimes. He he had to go somewhere where, frankly, not many pigeons can reach, so I haven't gotten to talk to him in a while. It was it was nice being able to talk to Shoshin, and I look forward to continuing.
Well, maybe you should have gone to the wedding with her.
I'm not gonna insert myself on something I wasn't even really invited to.
Well, it's Nemesis's family, and given the relationship between Nemesis and Shoshan being rather friendly, I don't think you would have found many objections.
Fair enough. I guess I'm just not so
Traditionally,
ready for groups. Sorry, go ahead.
right, well, traditionally speaking, it is common to have a +1 to a wedding.
uh, maybe the next one.
Sure, whoever gets married next, perhaps in Armath. Would that be something, a wedding happening here?
She kind of looks around the peaceful but also like contained chaos nature of Armath in its current state, and gives a smile. Seems like a nice place for it.
Yeah. Not really for me, though.
Why? You not the he's running laps across my desk.
He's a runner, he's a track star.
He is. Uh, he does. You're not a romance sword, or you already got someone?
That's that's a lot more of a complicated question than you might think it is.
We don't have to get it. That's a seem like a nice.
Huh. Plenty of people seem to think so. Wolf,
Yeah.
could I perhaps ask you a question which you may find somewhat uncomfortable?
Yeah, sure.
You've left the band.
Yeah.
Shoshen, to whatever extent, also desires to leave the band. What is it about the Thorn Band that makes it have such poor retention?
I don't know if I'd say poor retention. I, as far as I know, and as far as anyone has ever commented, I was the first person to ever leave the band.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks. And part of that was for me mostly not even because of the band itself, and more because, let's just say the leader of it right now is, my father. So, more connected to family things than the
Like
nature of the band itself.
your biological father.
Yeah.
That is certainly something.
He and I didn't get along.
Is he dead?
Nope.
Huh. You sound normal about that.
Absolutely. But him not being dead is better than the alternative. So
Which is him being dead.
it's my brother having to take his place, which would suck.
Oh, so it's sort of a familial inheritance thing.
And kinda.
Oh, you said that your brother had left.
He tried to get away like I did. Um they they found him again, and he did not have as easy time as me.
Hmm. Well, how did you leave? Sorry, actually, that's a bit, um,
Oh no,
forward
it's
of me to ask.
uh I can't really get into the particulars, both because it's an uncomfortable topic and also because it's not something I'd want anyone else repeat. Not to say that I don't think you couldn't keep a secret, but it's certainly not a route I'd want Shoshin to take.
No,
Um,
yeah, it would probably be for the best if you didn't tell me. I'm terrible at keeping secrets.
let's just say I remember those conversations we had when I first came here, the group conversations we had about Desico and whatnot.
Only vaguely. I try not to think too much about the whole Desico debacle.
Yeah, I just say be careful about which ones do you favors and then expect you to repay them for fucking ever.
Right. Well, if I feel like there's any Desico who I owe a favor to, it's probably none of them. In fact, I think at least one owes me a favor for, killing me.
One killed you.
Yes, the the dread, I believe.
Esmond, do you want to roll me an insight check to see
I would love to roll
if
you an insight
if
check.
the name rings any bells with her?
Okay. That's really fucking good. That is a 21. 19 plus 2.
Uh,
Oh, I have an advantage! Wait, no, I. That's only if I lie. That's only if I lie.
Mm-hmm.
That's only if I'm telling people are lying.
Yeah, this isn't like whether she's
Yeah.
lying or not. At least not at this
Yeah.
moment.
I can do
You
that later.
you do notice a very distinct change in expression. It is part like wince, like, ooh, that's rough, and also like a intense fear reaction that she tries to bury down. So she has definitely heard the name before. Uh, but yeah, that she is quiet for a while, and then clears her throat. That's certainly a rough one. Uh,
You're familiar with her?
in a way, in my travels, I've learned about some various, but she's definitely one of the oldest and strongest, from my understanding. Partly because she doesn't play their games.
Mm.
She's not one to hide or play it cool or bide her time. She
Well,
wants something, she's
she.
gonna go right for it.
Well, she wanted me dead, and apparently, and I'm dead now. Well, I'm not dead, but what I'm saying is I got better, so she should probably also get better at killing people. Knock on wood. Find me some wood, jeez.
Heard a little bit about that from she kind of glances around to make sure nobody's listening. Uh, undertakes Buddy, his pet, but she certainly wasn't giving with any details, just what she could sense from you. Pretty interesting. I didn't know that coming back from the dead was an option for people.
Yeah, I didn't either. But here we are.
Here we certainly are.
Here we are for sure. Can I. Sorry.
Hmm?
Are you gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Again, with the questions that might feel somewhat uncomfortable, but I'm curious and I feel odd asking Shoshan.
Yeah.
What exactly is the nature of the Thorn Band?
The Thorn Band. That's a. The Thorn Band is a group largely devoted towards either exterminating Desco when possible or stopping their machinations, since it is largely considered fact by them that the Desco caused fusion and everything that happened with that. Whether on purpose or not is a bit besides the point. It was their very nature that caused it. So the Thorn Band is devoted towards trying to at least lessen what damage we can. It's extremely difficult to kill a Desico as a mortal being. But we certainly try. It's made up of a lot of people who have personal stake in that sort of goal.
Is that how Shoshan lost her eye?
That whatever happened there was after I left. I can't comment on it deeply, but from what I've heard through the grapevine, so.
I see. Thank you
Of
for answering my questions, Wolf.
course, of course. I She kind of shifts a bit uncomfortably. So you're not good with secrets.
Sorry?
You said you weren't good with secrets, right?
Oh, that was. I'm actually quite a proficient liar. I had two brothers,
Mm.
younger brothers.
I guess it's less important now. Now that I'm, staying in one place. If someone sees me, they'll see me and they'll know who I am. If somebody recognizes my name, then they'll. It's just the same as them seeing me. But, Wolf is just a fake name somebody gave me once. You can just call me Shadowing. It's fine. That's my real name. Shadowing Volkov. He holds out a hand to you.
Right.
I will give Esmond a crisis here and now.
Bro, we're in it.
You thought I'd let it slide. You thought I wouldn't bring it up. I will.
I was like, I can sidestep this. I can do it.
You endeared yourself to her.
Esmond had his like arms crossed, kind of loose.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just kind of looking out over the town, like having this conversation with her. And he's like giving her this kind of like smile, like just kind of to the side as she as he perceives that she's like confiding something in him, and he's like, oh, like that's nice that like she feels like she can talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says her name, and he tenses so fast. His shoulders like rise and then fall, and he stands up straighter, and his grip on his arms, his knuckles like go white, and he just snaps his gaze over to her and just stares at her like bewildered, like absolutely fucking like what?
She kind of like halts. Not like full on freezes, but like unsure halts in her movement of like trying to shake her hand. And like very clearly looks confused as well. Sorry, did I say something wrong?
Volkov.
Yeah, it's my family name. Ah, jeez. Don't tell me my dad did something to your family or some.
No.
Puts her hand down.
You have family.
Yeah, dad and brother.
Any others?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean,
What?
Yeah, that's the only ones I've met, at least.
What's your brother's name?
She's like giving you a look. But eventually like kind of rolls her shoulders, double checks if anyone's listening. Chose the name. As outrageous as it is, he chose the name of all names, Salvation. 10 or 11.
That makes Esmond like laugh, like this kind of like wet kind of like, huh? And like just disbelief of like looking back over the town, just like, oh, okay.
Alright, do you need to sit down? I'm not really sure what's going on here.
He thank you, Ned Jim. He told me that he didn't pick it himself.
So you know,
I do. I did.
he technically picked it from her dad. Heavily suggested it, but it was announced to the band that picked it in some righteous mood.
Heh. Once a liar, always a liar.
Sometimes you lie to cover up negative things that you don't want to admit, but the worst one, did my brother do something to you? What am I missing here?
Your brother, do you, are you aware of what your brother was doing around 5, 6 years ago?
She seems to like mentally rewind and consider for a few moments. And then you see her face crumple and like the fingers come up on either side of her nose. Fuck. Oh. I asked him names. Crack. Anyone dead. So you're the one he was all heads over heels over, huh?
Sure.
So that means my your kid is here.
My son, yes,
Yeah.
he is here. My son.
Yeah. I think we should go on. She like turns to you fully and has like a very like a facial expression that screams like, this is extremely serious and I'm sorry but I have to tell it to you, but I'm very sorry. And there's I wasn't given your names for the reason of not coming to find you and telling you things. Because he didn't want anyone to know the truth. I would like to tell you because I think you and he deserve that much. We could find somewhere to sit down and talk. But if you'd rather not hear it all, that's fine too. I can head back to Hildegrand and certainly still stick around for Shoshan, but you won't have to see me if you're not comfortable with it.
I I have learned since your brother did what he did to me to always see the worst in people before anything else. I see their flaws and I assume the worst. I believe everyone to, before anything else, be a liar.
I'm not disputing you.
But I am also very soft. Shadowing. And I love the idea of redemption.
Not talk about it.
I'm not either. I'm not for you. Not for anyone but me. This is not your doing. This is not your fault, your problem. If we carried our family's burdens and took blame onto ourselves for all the wrong things they'd ever done or the missteps they'd taken, then how could I have done any of this? How could anyone be anybody if we were all our brothers and sisters and fathers and mothers' mistakes? Don't make yourself scarce because your brother's a fucking asshole.
You say, sir, but you've already been good to me. Shosha. Good to my no matter how much of an idiot I'm happy. Give that to you.
No, I don't like to sit on things. Makes me antsy. Gives me too much time to think. Please. Do you want to go take a seat somewhere?
I think it would be best if you sat down with me.
I'm fine.
She rolls her eyes a little, and turns towards your house. She reaches out as if she's going to gently guide the back of your elbow to come along, though she pauses to check if that, physical contact at least is okay.
No, Esmond, he very deliberately straightens himself out and kind of drops the more drawn into himself sort of energy.
Mm-hmm.
To sort of present more of what he regularly would be, and puts a hand up to be I'm okay, I'm fine. And he
respectful nod,
and he is very genuine about it. I think to anybody else he does genuinely just he shook it off, he's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly fine. All the whatever feelings and mourning, I'm just surprised. I finished feeling anything about this years ago.
Certainly with the reaction of someone who doesn't feel anything.
Yeah, totally. But Esmond will lead her to his home. I'm gonna flip a coin to see if they go to the kitchen or his office.
Yeah, she's been to both before.
Well, I rolled a 2. So that's gonna be Coffis.
The Coffis?
The Coffis.
For real.
Coffis.
Yeah, she comes up. You guys had a very serious conversation here not long ago about Desico, so
yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, we did.
But she
Esmond would sit on the arm of one of the chairs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she'll kind of. She's got this anxious, low-key, frenzied energy about her. So she goes to sit and then straightens up, leans against the wall, and you get the impression that she will start pacing if she gets too worked up.
Oh gosh.
Anxious energy and all that.
Yeah.
I want to be very clear that in me telling you all of this is not me trying to make amends on anyone else's behalf. What happened was cruel, for sure. Though I can understand elements of it, and I can understand the goal behind the actions, though I cannot condone the actions.
Do you know what he did?
That's what I was getting to. Here's what I know about the before. My brother wrote me letter on letter about how he had found someone, about how he was traveling with someone, about how there was a kid, confessed to me about having feelings, said that he was making a life together with this person, making a safe place, making somewhere free of the Thorn Band, without having to resort to the measures that I did. He was a different person, in the sense that I had never known my brother to be happy. And I don't doubt happy. That was not a lie. And he has never expressed to me that it was a lie. That was a new person. Gave him new life. He wrote to me, asking for advice. God, I even sent him a ring. I got it all enchanted for him and everything.
Enchanted.
It's warding. Get some things not really important. Wouldn't have helped.
Esmond reaches up to his neck, where he wears the ring always under his shirt.
Does he pull it out?
He just kind of stares at the floor for a second and just holds it. What sort of warding?
I told you what the thought, right? What its goal.
Yes.
Part of what drove away from we were led to believe that we received all this guidance and leads and hints and worries from an ancient ancestor. A Desico, yes, but one who had valiantly tried to stop what happened with the fusion, but was one voice amongst many and couldn't do anything, and is now trying to make. Who knows? Maybe that is the case, but
how honorable.
Yeah, exactly. I found out that the Thorn Band is just yet another piece in this political back and forth of the Disco, all moving their chess pieces around the board, trying to outplay each other. And that, connected with some very personal things, led to me going to the lengths I did to escape. At the same time, Salvation also found out this information. Found it out in a very different way than me, and also fled, but was not able to secure the same path as me. Now, Salvation and I know that our father can go to watch him, see what he would do. Didn't fully realize at the time that ancestor can sense us wherever we go, and watch us wherever we go. So I'm free of that. Sal is not. He is not now. He was not then.
Now.
That ring, he kind of gestures vaguely. It's pretty obvious when you're, touching that sort of area and having that sort of perception. Yeah. Is warded to guard from that eyesight. And
why wouldn't he wear it then?
because he didn't think it was pertinent. He didn't think it was a concern. But he was worried if anyone ever found out about you, then it could be for you. I was working on, I don't have it with me now, but I was working on a necklace he wanted to give to his son. That would do similar.
Oh,
Powell said he was.
his name's Powell.
Is he the tabaxi I've seen around?
Yeah. He's,
Cute kid.
he was a cute baby.
I had heard that grow up fast.
Yeah, very fast.
But, I sent the ring along. I was expecting to get back a letter any day with all the good news. I was even considering maybe coming out of hiding to brother for the first time in years. Meet this person who had changed him and improved him so much. Maybe have a family of my own again. The Thorn Band, our connection lies within. Not the mind, but the blood. It is part of our. It is part of the gifts we get, the magic, even that Shoshin wields. And part of that is that whenever there is a prophecy or a vision or a new lead on a new Desico or Desico scheme, it is essentially sent to all of us at once, mentally, like a mental message, like what you and Undertake did with each other.
Right.
And one night, not long after me sending along the ring, as cut off as I am from the Thorn Band, I still receive those. They can't sense where I am anymore. But I specifically asked to be able to. I asked the one who freed me to still let me, so I'd know where to avoid. And I heard a call go up, a warning about a dangerous Desico weapon. About a winged one, golden hair and eyes. Speaking about chains and wings and danger, and I didn't. There was more in there. I didn't think it important. I didn't think it important until I got the letter. Salvation. He knew as soon as he heard. It was. I don't know how he realized it entirely, but he knew it was talking about you. The hunt had gone up for you. They knew the town you were in. And they were coming. And from what he told me, Sal knew that you were, as far as I can tell, this is said with the most affection. The most stubborn motherfucker he's ever met. Told you that danger was coming for him and for you. To hide. He knew if he followed you to wherever you did go, follow him. Idiot. Without asking advice, I could have pointed him, maybe, to some routes or places to hide or way to shield himself or anything at all, but idiot thought the best fucking way to protect you was to, one, get you out of the town as quickly as possible. 2, make sure you never ever came back. Especially never near him again. He didn't want what was going on. He didn't want you to know that. He could probably fucking killed for letting you escape. Much less being involved with you. He didn't go into. I could make some inferences about how you get somebody to so thoroughly leave you behind and never come back. He always was good at hiding, especially acting like a mean motherfucker when he needed to.
So he's best at acting like an idiot.
Certainly.
I have a younger brother. He's here right now. His name is Hayes. He's part of a group of, formerly part of a group of child soldiers called the Faceless. If you're familiar.
I know something about them, yeah.
Iron conscription, them. My dad brought him home one day, and I'd already hated the Iron conscription. But the things that my father inferred about the Iron conscription and the things that had happened to my little brother only made me despise them that much more. I do not hate easily. Not at all. Though I might assume the worst in all scenarios. Vitriol isn't my nature. At least not overtly. But I do hate the Iron conscription. More than anything. And he knew that. He didn't like to talk about his family, or he didn't like to talk about things that were overly personal to him. But he told me once that he liked the way that I could talk for hours without stopping. I never shut up. He brought the Iron conscription into my home, into our home. And that was it.
That would he.
No, that's what I experienced.
Sorry. Not the one who called them. We're already on their way when the call went out to all of us. That chessboard I referenced. Thorn band and the conscription. Or new. How do you think a group like that communicates in such far distances?
What the fuck?
It's all a chessboard.
What the fuck? Esmond's like gripping the side of his chair, like trying not to fucking fall over. Like he's on the arm, and he kind of like eases himself down into the chair proper to like sit there and like he was grabbing the necklace. Now he's like grabbing his chest and grabbing the arm of the chair, and he's like leaned over. They're doing drugs.
Not all of them are like that, but whether they realize it or not, most of them are. Some are being influenced mentally, some are being ordered. Much like the Thorn Band itself, it's all methods taught, passed around by these desks, all playing games with us like some kind of. She starts to get like worked up and then like very clearly takes a deep breath and settles herself, very much like, this is not the time for that rant. Sorry. He wanted you to hate him. It seems like he knew the ways to make sure that you did.
He He didn't. He didn't know the ways. Because I tried very hard to hate him. And I never quite got there. But I sure did try. God, did I fucking try? He's alive, then.
Nearly wasn't. They figured out they'd be up too quickly. Branded the motherfucker.
Sure looks great on him.
Nearly lost the arm, but I haven't seen him. I don't know. He wouldn't tell me much. All I really knew is what was said to the higher tier members of the band. He was forced to essentially swear an even further oath to our ancestor. The eyes never. The eyes can even see into his mind.
What a terrible place to be.
Yeah. Eventually, though, he got our father to him try and make political connections. Both because Sal could not stand be around people who tried to whip him to death. But also, we discovered that when you're on a different plane, the eyes can't see you anymore. It's a couple years he's been out a big while.
Tried to send him a message. Didn't quite work.
Things get wonky when they pass between.
Oh, I'm familiar with that. I don't know how to feel right now.
You can like read very clearly on her face that she wants to offer you comfort, but both she is not fully comfortable with that, and also gets the impression you would not be comfortable with that. So you can see the tightening fists as she shifts her stance. You said that we don't need to try and make right the wrongs our have done. While I agree with that, I still wish there was a lesson in it. Both for your sake, your son's sake, but also for my my brother who got to be happy for the time. And well, it's hard to know what would have happened if he hadn't. Oh, I know. Very sorry that my brother also had to even have to make that choice, much less go. I know. It destroyed him.
Not to be crass, but I honestly don't give a fuck
I'm not
how you
telling
felt
you.
about it.
I'm not telling you how to. I'm not trying to apologize for him or make you feel different. I'm trying to do what I think. What I think is right is making sure you know the truth. How you feel about.
Thank you. I have more questions, but I honestly don't think I have the mind to ask them at present. Mostly about the whole dangerous Jessica weapon thing, but I think one revelation is enough per 24-hour period.
Understandable. Sorry. Told myself. Found you. Found out your name. Freaking both take time to digest. If you have a conversation, well, you know, find it. Not just for this conversation.
Uh, Esmond doesn't look at her. He just keeps his eyes on the ground and nods. Very, like, small nod.
No matter how you feel about my brother now, and when I would have called you family, and I'd call you family too. You helped my brother, no matter how things turned out. I'll always be thankful. Thank you. And it dips her head uh, and moves towards the door.
He doesn't say anything. He just stays in that position, pretty much.
Mhm. Yeah. She leaves.
Jesus Christ.
You are alone in your office.
Um, at some point, Esmond just started, like, to have, like, quiet tears, um, down his face.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably why he wasn't looking up at her, just staring at the ground.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't try to get up. He just sits there with his feet planted on the ground until it starts to get, like, dark outside.
Before it gets dark outside,
Okay, cool.
you downstairs, you hear the door open. You hear somebody kind of like talking into the house.
Okay.
You hear feet up the steps, and you eventually make out that it's Maya's voice going,
Oh, thank God.
Esmond, so I got them all settled, but I wanted to ask you about how you wanted to distribute the blankets, because we only have so many. And I know some of them were saying that they could wild chip into animals for the night, and that's when she opens the door and she kind of freezes there. And immediately is like going and coming to your side, kind of like curling over you with her massive height.
I was gonna
It's
be my son. I was like, oh no, oh no, oh no.
she like she very often when she like, if you are upset about anything at all, she will make it very clear before she touches you, if you're in a state to indicate whether or not you're all right with being touched, then she'll go with that. So she does that kind of like mother hen hover hand at your sides, like checking if you'll indicate whether or not you're all right with touch.
Esmond just like grabs
Mm-hmm.
onto her like shirt sleeves on either side of her, and just like holds onto her like he's using her to stay upright.
Oh, she'll scoop you up, baby boy.
Oh hey, that's
uh,
that's good.
she won't like hold you like a child, but she does like scoop you against her and like let you fully rest your weight against her, and kind of tucks herself over and around you. Says Esmond, what happened? Are you all right? Is something wrong? Are you hurt?
Um, um, Maya,
Yeah, yeah.
did I ever tell you how I almost got married once?
You've made some vague references. Never elaborated intensely. I understood it was a that it fell out badly. On a push.
I called. I I called him Volkia. Wolf, the woman wolf, Shoshen's acquaintance. That's his. That's his sister.
Kind of starts to rub up a paw through your hair.
I don't know what to feel, Maya.
We don't have to think about it if you're up for worry about anything. Here, let's. She kind of like looks around for a moment, pulls over like a glass of water on your desk that has probably been sitting there like 2 days straight.
Jesus.
Because I don't imagine Esmond spends a ton of time just sitting in his office, but
No.
uh, she kind of like pulls it close within your reach in case, you know, you need to rehydrate. You don't feel any pressure to talk at all or want to tell me things, you can. So if you just want company, I'm whatever you need at all.
This is gonna get really sad, by the way.
Go off.
And sort of like sort of self-indulgently sad.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize.
Go off.
I spent the last. When did we meet? 5 years ago?
About 4.5.
4.5. You know my memory, it's not the best. 5 years ago, I took a very hard hit to my self-esteem, to say the least. And I've spent the last 5 years believing well enough that there was something supremely wrong with me. And I've just learned that whatever I thought was wrong with me most likely could never compare to what is actually wrong with me. because I think it is 100 times worse. Maybe 1,000 times worse.
Okay, maybe that bad.
I think it might be, but who can say? But, yay, my the love of my life didn't leave me because he didn't like me. He left me because I'm a stubborn fucking idiot. I I'm so fucking tired of all these shit revelations, Maya. How hard is it to help people without eating your own tail? You know?
People out is of your heart home. All these people, them in. You let people find purpose, belonging, a community that they probably would have never had. And you stubborn, but I think that that's a very good thing. It's done if you're not stubborn. No, what you're referring to. But if I'm understanding right, it sounds like you're trying to self down because you are loyal. Not a bad. Whoever chased you away for that is. Well, I'll handle him myself if he chooses.
Okay. I though that's going to be an issue. I I hate that I feel like I have to forgive him now.
Anything. No matter what reason somebody had, or anything that doesn't change them.
Okay.
Someone hit you, get you out of the way of a worse blow. Yes, they had good intentions for hitting you. In my mind, they should still apologize for it. And I think that that logic lies even in the. I don't know. Silly. But you can see that she's very clearly like grasping at whatever she can come up with, and is like kind of like gently rubbing her claws against your scalp, and kind of like just trying to comfort you however she can. Done good, Esmond. Done so much good. And sorry that you've had such a rough time of things. You've made so much good out of the hand you've been dealt. There's a lot of people who love you and see true worth and goodness in you. So, fuck whatever that idiot thinks or said or anything of that sort. You don't have to give him rejection.
That's I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure if that's even the point of me being sad. I guess I'm relieved. in a way. Good night, Ned Gem.
As Ned Gem said goodnight, I'm looking
No,
at
but I
you.
presume that's what this message is going to be. Oh, never mind. Okay, well, good morning, Ned Gem. Um, yeah, only 1:23 a.m. Um, could I, perhaps tell you about him?
Of course, of course.
Um, his name. I tell her his name.
Yeah.
Tight. The world is my oyster. His name was, is, I guess, Salvation Volkov. He didn't pick it himself. They call him Sal. Or Volkya. Or bitch.
I like that one.
He only barely tolerated it. I think he loved power. More than he loved me. But he loved me quite a lot. Or at least I'm convinced he did. I'm a bit more convinced now, I suppose. Ned! Oh yeah, that guy. He, I think that he had a penchant for irony. Because he always lived up to his name. Except for the one time that he didn't, when he, drove me out of my home and broke my heart and, rendered me homeless for a couple of weeks there, and yeah, there's that little bit of, sort of unfortunate circumstance. It was so nice before that, Naya.
Sounds like you were hiding his true colors.
Maybe. I've never been able to think back on him fondly. I think that I do want you to believe me when I say that I never hated him, and I still don't, in fact. I think that Wolf, that woman, she gave me a gift by telling me this. He is every bit the idiot that I believed him to be. He does not think before he acts. But at least he lives up to my expectations. I feel lighter somehow. I'm still not pleased with him, evidently, but I'm It's nice to know, I guess. Kitty cat
Yeah.
with a bow wow 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 wow.
Maya remains there with you, I think, for a while. She doesn't have much she can say, uh, but she listens to you as long as you speak. Occasionally giving small inputs, but knows that this is you needing to get your thoughts out. So does not interrupt much.
Yeah. Esmond just talks for as long as, like, he can think of things to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he tells her stories about, while they were still traveling before they settled down.
Mm-hmm.
And then after as well. Uh, he tells her about how he had to get really good at patching roofs in rainstorms. And yeah.
She listens to anything and everything that you say. Uh, do you think Esmond eventually separates himself, or does he eventually essentially pass out there from exhaustion of over emotion?
Yeah, I think eventually he just kind of like drifts off to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Uh because he's all cried out
Mm-hmm.
like a little guy. Um he's had such a big day.
Really, truly.
Yeah. Yeah. So he just gets Mama Maya.
Then I'll say that you wake up the next morning. You are in your bed, uh, and there is a partly snoring, partly purring, Powell laying partway across your chest. He is still wearing his scouting clothes from yesterday. He is passed out on top of the covers, not even properly like tucked in or anything. Uh, and there is a note on your bedside table from Maya that says, "I sent Al in when he got back this morning. I can take care of the day to day today. Just take some time to relax, or if you want to do things, uh, feel free. Uh, but don't worry about anything today."
Maya.
And she also writes that she made breakfast and there's fresh bread.
Maya. My work wife.
For real.
Esmond just like slumps back in bed and he just stares at the ceiling with like Powell on his chest and he's just like he feels hungover.
Yeah, I feel like Howl. Wow, much like my cat.
Her.
Um, uh, purrs in his sleep. But also as soon as he like subconsciously realizes you're moving, uh, is making very annoying biscuits like against your side. And that's sort of like, I know that this is affectionate, but also claws.
Yeah. Esmond like flicks him in the ear.
He makes a discontented noise, and buries his face in the blanket.
Hey,
No,
what? I haven't even said anything yet.
back to bed.
It's morning.
No,
Okay.
it is not morning, so you have to keep sleeping.
But I'm not tired.
It's not morning, so you need to sleep till morning.
The sun is up, Powell.
Yeah, it's 3 p.m., so you have to keep sleeping.
3 p.m. What? Wait,
Yeah.
what? Are you napping?
Yes.
Okay.
I went
Esmond
on
just lays
morning
there.
patrol.
Esmond just lays there for longer. Just like drops his hand on top of Powell's head, pats him like very like full palm while sighing. And he
Eventually,
just
go ahead.
sorry, and he just like lays there for a while and staring at the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to draw this out, by the way.
No, I'm also mutually drawing it out.
Oh my god,
Uh,
we
Eventually, he gives a little long stretch, and then peeks his head up from the blankets to give you, like, you know your son well. It's a very clear expression
yeah.
of, like, concern, but also not deep concern, since he's not sure what level of concern is needed.
Alright.
So it's also curiosity. And he just says very quietly, muffled against the blankets, I said you had a rough night. And asked me to come in and check on you. Everything alright, Dad?
I talked to your aunt.
She's here?
Maybe. I'm not sure if she stayed the night or if she headed back to elsewhere.
She was here yesterday. He seems to be like doing a mental catalog, figuring out who was here yesterday. Is it one of those new people?
No.
The people from that. Did you know they're from a hole? They saw a worm.
Okay.
Big worm.
What a worm?
A big worm.
Like what kind of worm? Like
I
how
don't know.
big?
Like a scary worm that made them
Like
eat
a
weird
big. I think
things.
most worms would be scary if they were big.
Mm-hmm. They lived inside its hole.
No,
Sorry.
your aunt isn't from a hole. I don't think so. At least she didn't tell me she was. Shadowing. Shit, Wolf. Wolf. Her name's Wolf.
Big lady who chopped heads off in the battle.
Yes.
She was cool.
Yes. She was.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So she. I mean, I guess she kind of looks like him, doesn't she?
She does. I I know we don't really talk about him. I'm sorry about that.
He looks like kind of uncomfortable, but not in the way that like he's going to leave. Just sort of unsure, and like shifts a bit. It's all right. I've tried to. I know you don't. That's okay. Looked into it a little bit. I don't want to push you to talk about. Don't know everything that went on, but I know. Well, very sad and upset, and I don't remember all the details.
Well, I don't want to color your opinions of your father too intensely. He was an asshole.
That's what he said. He immediately, like, clamps his mouth shut.
As he, like, sits up.
Just like the dinner plate cat eyes.
He just stares at Powell.
So Maya said she left his breakfast. He's climbing out of bed.
I grab him by like the you know how cats like have the nape,
scruff. Yeah.
the scruff, yeah. Like pull,
Ah.
like goes limp, goes like rigid.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, my dear son?
That's just, what I imagine he said. He would say if I talked to him.
Give him the flattest fucking look ever.
Dad, I'm so hungry. I'm really craving some bread right now.
You're not going to be in trouble.
I I mean, Dad, I knew his name. There's these things called pigeons. Or just kind of, you know.
Oh my god.
Just a couple times, and he,
Oh my god.
he hasn't answered me much recently, but he told me he was going on a long trip.
God.
Let's not worry.
Is that what Maya meant when she said that you wrote a letter for me?
What? Maybe,
Your
I don't know.
father?
I don't know, maybe.
Oh my god. Paul.
Like I said, we haven't talked like the last 2 years. He said he was going on a long trip. But so I've just written like a few letters, and I'm waiting to send them when I get one from him.
He sent you letters.
You.
Did he mention me? Not that I'm curious or anything, not that I care.
The first letter I sent was just asking him what happened and where he was and stuff. I was very young, and it was rude of me to ask both to you and him. I know that now. He straightened me out on that. He said if you didn't want to talk about it, that it wasn't his business to tell me things, but that he had been an asshole, and that whatever you were saying, and to only listen to whatever you said about it. He said it was your business. Tell me whatever you thought was appropriate. And he wouldn't elaborate on it. And he'll ask about you sometimes. He'll ask how you're doing, but I think it makes him sad. So I only say a little bit. I just say if you're doing well, a little bit about what we're doing. He said to never He said to never give him names of places, because he said that's dangerous or something. I don't really understand. I think it makes him a little bit sad, but Dad, I think I'm a little bit selfish because I still want to hear from him, even if it does make him sad.
I don't think it makes him sad. I think that it makes him sad because he can't be with you, but I'm sure that if he stopped hearing from you, that would make him all the more sad. He does. I imagine he does love you. Though, I find it difficult to grasp, considering his actions.
Well, I know it's adult stuff and it's private.
Aren't you an adult?
But I am, but it's like, different adults. It's like a different
Sure.
level of adult stuff. Relationships and all that. I'm above that, I'm a big man. But
Sure. Okay. Okay. Fucking big man. Fucking penny.
but um so before we came here, when we were first in Hildegard, um it was like a year or so ago. Um we were there for a little bit. I had a little bit of coin that I totally didn't take from anybody's pocket. Don't worry about it.
Uh-huh.
But I got someone to do a little painting of a description of you, because I thought it would be too suspicious if I asked you to pose for somebody. So I just told somebody what you look like, and I sent that to him. Um,
It's a weird poem.
I don't know. I thought he might, be curious. I told him you dyed your hair, and he was very surprised.
I think
Um,
it suits me.
I agree. Um, he's on his long trip, so I only get letters back sometimes. He says when he's only sometimes able to visit somewhere where he can send letters, but he seemed. He said you looked well, and he said looked. He looks like uncomfortable, but in the sense of like, ugh, parents. He said you looked as he said you looked as good as the day he met you, and that the black suited
Wow.
you, and I don't
Wow.
know, it was weird. I told him not to do that.
Right. It's normal, right?
What?
For people to have interactions such as this.
What? The praising how you look? Yeah, I know that. It's
Romance,
just,
pal. Do we need to have a talk?
ugh. No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because my ad with you.
Not fully. Alice rambled something once. I think she tried to, and then I think halfway through she forgot that that's what she was doing.
Okay.
Um, you gave me something once a while ago, but I don't know. I'm just not really interested in that stuff. I don't know if it's
Well,
right now or if it's forever, but yeah,
great. So we'll consider that back burner for now.
I live in ignorance in this sense.
Great. Love it. Love to hear it. But I do still love him.
I I may not be the most versed in relationships, and he like puffs his chest out,
Okay, big
but
man.
I know you enough to know that if you didn't still love, you would be more open to talking. So I knew, but thank you for telling me. We don't have to. I know whatever happened was bad, and that he did something that really upset you. Like I said, I don't remember many details. I was still a little kid then,
You,
but
you were
I
you were sick as well during that time. You had quite the fever.
cried a lot.
Do you remember Alice taking care of you?
A little bit. I mostly remember just crying for you and crying for him. Being really fucking confused.
Huh. Yeah. Makes two of us.
I love you. He, like, dives into your chest and gives you a tight hug. And I don't know if this is something you worry about, but I've asked a couple people, you know, very subtly for advice. Very subtly.
Okay.
If it came down to it, I would always pick you. Not that I think it's a choice or anything like that. I'd always pick you.
Just don't discount him so easily.
You're cooler.
Yeah, well, we already knew that.
Yeah.
So, breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Do you want a drink? I'll make you a drink.
Oh,
Do you want wine?
it's 11, well, 3 p.m. you said, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't want wine, Powell.
Hmm.
Come on.
Yeah, time to get blasted. Yeah, you guys head down, have breakfast, spend the remainder of the day, doing whatnot. And that's where we'll finish this right now.
Dude, I cried.
You cried?
Yeah,
Hello?
like straight up, there were like tears down my
No!
face.
No!
I was so in character. Holy fuck.
Ah! I'm glad
Well,
you enjoyed in a sense. And
there
that it
goes all my
wasn't
romantic
painful.
prospects.
So sorry, King.
Simping once more.
It's
Desmond
almost
is.
like you knew that this would happen out of character.
I know, but I didn't expect. I didn't know how Esmond would respond to it until I heard it, like, and had to decide. And the conclusion I've come to is that Esmond
Is in love.
was and did not stop.
Uh,
He's such a simp. He's such a massive fucking simp.
uh,
Okay,
can
Shoshan.
can you imagine if I had been strong enough to never tell you the truth, and this is when you found out?
That would have been insane. God.
I think you would have bawled.
I think I genuinely would have, like, fucking. Listen, Asmund's also ineffective because, I don't know if you've noticed, man's not around. Man's in a different fucking dimension.
Is he? You sure?
A plane of existence.
But yeah, I'm gonna stop the recording.